The views and opinions expressed on Live at the Barbershop are entirely those of the host, guest, and caller and do not reflect the opinions of Live at the Barbershop or its staff. Viewers' discretion is advised. The following podcast is intended for mature audiences only and contains adult content, graphic language, strong sexual content, and a whole lot of shit talking. So in other words, get your kids out the room.
Live at the Barbershop with your hosts, Misha J, Aaliyah, Black Republican, and those two crazy Caribbean guys from the Q&N show, Norris and Q. And now, the man of the hour, Mr. HNIC, Mr. Sleep When You're Dead, Hustle Now, the magnificent.
Yo, son. What's up with all that?
I was just trying to amp it up, you know, like...
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, all right, I'm with that.
John, live at the Barbershop podcast.
Today is going to be an explosive situation, a real deep discussion for Caribbeans. Tonight's discussion is called Being Caribbean in Black America. It's a very touchy situation for a lot of us from the Caribbean.
Or grown up.
Caribbean migrating to America.
In America, not Black America. In America.
In America, but at the same time for the neighborhoods where we embarked
they're all
on.
Black, but
it
in
was
America.
Predominant Black.
It's still America.
Oh, listen here.
Damn that shit.
Listen to you. You still
Yankee.
See, tonight is supposed to be where we're
Yankee.
supposed to put it all on the table, figure it out. There's no animosity. So it's not like the Caribbeans is gonna beat up or go after America or Americans or Black America. It's nothing like that. Tonight's discussion is to try and to bring everyone together, educate everyone. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's mainly about.
We're
so
gonna have fun doing
I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to tell their story. And then at the end, a nice round table discussion.
We can have fun doing it too.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what it's all about.
We can have fun doing it.
Without further ado, let me just start it off. I am your host for tonight, John. Next to me, oh, believe it or not, she's in the building. Sassy's in the building. Q. Q had to run out for a quick minute on a family emergency. I'm not gonna say next to, so I'm gonna let him say it. You say it.
Next to the beautiful Sassy is Norris, the guy in the black shirt. That's
there. It is. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Wearing a black hat. That's me sitting over here.
Nisha J, what up? Aaliyah, what up? So tonight, without further ado, I'm going to introduce the guest for tonight, representing the different islands from the Caribbean. So let me start off with my girl, Norris B. Norris. Hey. Notorious. Hey, see, you over here just got me.
Hey, you see that?
Not Norris B. Oh my God.
The biggest mistake already.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Representing Haiti. Okay.
Woo,
Notorious B. What's good? You in the building?
What's up, y'all?
Yeah,
okay.
Just changed.
Okay. Sliding over on the other side. Mm-hmm. Okay. Representing where I am from. If you didn't know from the shirt, yes, I'm from Belize. Dominican Republic, you know what I'm saying? Okay. My girl Sherry. Sherry's in the building. What's good, Sherry?
Hey, what's up,
baby? Where you representing?
Jamaica, all day, every day. Bon Yard.
Now, we're going to float over a little bit more. And here we go to my girl Callie. Callie is in the building.
Hey, y'all.
Let us all know where you're from, Callie.
Representing the Virgin Islands.
Okay, there you go. And now, my man. Oh, you know what? I'm going to save you for last, my man. Hold up. Wait a minute now. So, this individual, I had to bring him on because he and I had a deep discussion, and I know time is running. So, I'm just going to say it briefly. Mike Sherman is an alumni from Tuskegee University. So he and I had a discussion about this subject matter. And when we were talking, he blew my mind on a lot of information that I didn't know about. So tonight I decided, you know what? I gotta bring my man Mike Sherman. Mike Sherman is in the building representing America, representing Black America. Yo, Mike Sherman is in the building. What up? What up? What up? Okay. Mike.
There we go.
You good now?
It's Mike.
All right, I gotta tell him. All right, we'll come back to Mike. Your Mike, you gotta probably take it off mute. So, last but not least, my brother from another mother, another QB representative. Y'all all know him. The founder, one of the foundations. You know what I'm saying? History it can't be, rewritten. So heads gotta know everything. One of the founding members of G Unit. Not only, this is a wolf. My man is a wolf, but he's a wolf with a heart. Everybody know him as Bang'em. People know him as Smurf. Let's put it all together and call him Bang'em Smurf. Bang'em Smurf in the
Bang'em
building.
Smurf.
Straight
What
up.
up?
God bless everybody, man. Hope everybody stays safe and healthy out there. You know, it's a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic. God bless everybody.
God bless everybody. So tonight, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna make it a little bit more fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it a little bit more fun. We're gonna toss it up. So since we can't do it the old school way back in the 80s and 90s when we was rolling dice and stuff like that.
Hold up. We ain't flipping no damn coin.
We flipping a coin. Has to tell. The different islands call out what they want. I'm gonna flip and then I'm gonna let them go first. Mike Sherman, you out of this one for now. I'm gonna leave you for last.
All right.
Okay, you deserve it at the end of this. So now, okay, let me see who I'm gonna roll the dice with now. So I got, let me see. Let me roll with Haiti and
alphabetically. Haiti. Go ahead.
Okay, so Norris. No, listen, hold on. Notorious B and Cali. Y'all call it heads or tail.
Tail.
Who's gonna go first? Cali, you call tail?
Yeah.
All right, let me roll it.
No, that's not a flip. That you just.
I can't hear.
Somebody else.
Who can't hear?
That for me.
Hold up. Somebody said they can't hear.
Who can't hear?
That was me.
Notorious.
Haiti.
You can't hear.
Shout out to Haiti. Haiti ain't here.
All right, she got to go out and come back. All right.
So let Cali go first.
All right, let's keep the ball rolling then.
Okay, guys.
Sherry and Cali, then call it heads or tail.
Tail.
Oh, Cali, you want tail? All right, heads. All right, roll it.
Tails. Go ahead.
Tail. Bang. Tail. Tail. Go ahead.
All right. Hi, everybody. I am Callie, representing once again the United States Virgin Islands.
Yes.
So I actually was born on St. Croix, which is a U.S. territory. I actually lived for 17 years on the island. So by default, I was born American citizen. I never had to worry about green cards, immigration, none of that. I moved to Pennsylvania. I lived there. I've been living in the US ever since. I actually live in California right now. And so, having your experience here in the US, I still identify myself as a West Indian. I'm a Virgin Islander. A lot of Black Americans say, "Oh, you're not American or you're not Islander." So it's like you don't belong to nothing. That's how they look at it. But I said, first of all, I'm a Black woman. Second, I am a Virgin Islander, Crucian to be more specific.
I just heard the accent.
So, going through college and I wasn't brought into the U.S. as a small child. I actually went into the U.S. as for college. Right. So the people there, the Black Americans didn't really understand me. They didn't get it. They don't understand my accent. They want me to say tree because they just want to hear you talk. They're not listening. They're like, talk. I'm like, what? Talk? Okay. So it's been very interesting, even for Black American men. I've been told I'm exotic. I'm like, they're like, you're exotic. You're like, okay. Then it's followed by, can you cook? Everybody
cut you. Mike shaking his head too.
cook all day. I'm like, yo, I don't like. I enjoy every kind of food. I don't just make West Indian, Caribbean food because that's all they think you do is just cook and dance, and that's it. You know, but it's been interesting. I'm very happy to participate in this panel, just talking about my experiences here as being someone, once again, who by default is born a U.S. citizen, but more or less, a lot of the people from my island identify themselves as we're West Indian, and that's it.
Right. And that's it. At the end of the day, that's what this whole discussion is all about. All right, Sherry, let me hear your story real quick.
Oh wow. So you and I were talking about this before. I like to say that I am the poster child, the good and the bad and the ugly for assimilation. I was born in Jamaica, Banayad. And I came here December 23rd, 1983. Right in the dead of winter. It was a snowstorm.
I came here a month before you.
The thing about it is, like, I think looking back of it, I think my experience growing up here. So I was raised here, no doubt about it. I was raised here. We were living in Brooklyn at the time. Of course, we're all the West Indians. And then, you know, I remember my first day of school, like yesterday. You know, the teacher stood me in front of the class and say hi to Sherry. And I remember at lunchtime, they were making fun of my accent and asking me where I'm from. And I'll never forget it when they said, speak English. And I remember that because unfortunately, that one little phrase got into me where I remember doing my best to kind of turn off my accent because I so desperately wanted to fit in. And I remember looking back now, I got here when I was 7, which is a whole lot different than if I had gotten here as a teenager versus a young adult. At 7 years old, you wanted to do everything to fit in. And I remember there was this show, I might be showing my age, and this is probably for all the New Yorkers. There was this show back in the day, you remember Video Music Box?
Yeah. Yes, I remember that.
Yes. So my sister used to tape the videos because, you know, that's the only time you saw videos. So she used to tape the videos. And I remember we used to sit there and I would practice speaking like the people in the video so I can blend in. And I remember sitting there going deaf and fresh because you wanted to fit in. And then by the time I got to high school, no lie, I just remembered everybody was pretending to be Jamaican. It's like everybody turned around and was like, oh yeah, I'm Jamaican. Like, so 10 years ago, I was like this piranha that I needed to stay away from everybody and I blend in. Now everybody else is now pretending to be Jamaican. So there was this shift now where it was just cool to be Jamaican or from a different island, as opposed to when I got here at 7 years old, I needed to blend in, adjust and turn and just look and sound like everybody else. Right. So it has been like this whole turn where it's like, oh, now we fly, now we cool. But before, you were calling me all these names, you know, African booty scratcher, you Haitian creation, go back to your own nation. You know, I remember all these vividly, where it's like, oh, now I'm fly. So, you know, the whole thing of just trying to blend in, but you never really did because it was always about like, they always say little weird things like, oh, speak Jamaican. Come on.
Yes, speak Haitian.
Speak it. It's a language, right? No, it's not a language. It's not. It's Patois. You have to be in it to understand it. For me to sit there and teach you, it's not going to. But at the end of the day, I tell everybody, I might have grown up here in New York because, you know, I got here when I was 7. But at the end of the day, Banayad, all the Banayad.
You know what? I'm gonna touch from that. And I'm gonna go now to Notorious being as that little term, the little stigma. Now, Smurf, we was in the green room, we was chopping it up. The little terms. You see those little terms like African booty scratcher,
Haitian booty scratcher,
and Haitian booty scratcher, or banana boat.
Yeah,
definitely banana boat.
Oh, that banana boat.
Yeah, banana boat.
How those little ones still stuck to us, embedded in us to this day.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? It's like it's still like a little prick in on us like, yo, banana boat, I flew here.
Hold up. You flew here?
I flew here. Yeah, Jamaica. Where you came? You came on the boat?
No.
You know what I'm
saying? Eastern Airline. Who remember Eastern Airline?
I flew there. I flew there in '88.
I was Air Jamaica.
I came here a month before you.
Hey, he was rich.
Yeah. From Antigua, I came here November 29, 1983.
He was rich.
Wow.
I was 13 years old. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
He's one of the
in my
rich
early
ones.
teens.
Because the rest of us had to fly domestic. Air Jamaica. You know what I'm
I was in Jamaica.
So okay. I tell you what. All right, she's back now. So let me ask her. All right, B, you good?
Yeah. Okay, I'm back.
All right. So
I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna hand it over to you now. Being as we were going into those terms, you know, I know growing up in New York, and Smurf, you can double up with me on this. I know back in the 80s and 90s, because I grew up with a couple of my homies that was Haitian, and back then it was taboo. It was taboo. Most Haitians, if they was hanging with Jamaicans, or because you know, here's the thing: West Indians back then were all compiled into Jamaica.
Yeah.
Right. If you was Trini, GG,
yeah, they thought you was Jamaican. Facts.
That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like any American that hurt, so long as you say, yeah, they said, oh, you Jamaican. It's like the rest of us, right? You know, we knew the different dialects.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll all look at each other like, what are you talking about? Yo, she from Haiti. So okay, with you now, can I hear your story?
All right. I was born here, but of course my parents are Haitian.
Let them know where you're located.
Oh, Miami, Florida.
Okay.
305.
Okay.
But I was born here, but my parents came here like in 1976. Then they had the rest of their kids, which was me, my two brothers, and me. So we were born here, and growing up Haitian was rough. It was rough because my parents were like, my dad, okay, let's talk about him. He was like a dictator, right? So he was really strict about everything. Like I couldn't go to school with jeans. You can't wear no jeans. You're a girl. Got to wear a big church dress with football socks and some ugly shoes. So that's how they dressed me going to school. Ribbons, bows in my hair, and I remember like getting picked at, and I remember even like hating my hairdo, so I would try to do it over when I get to the school. But it was rough, you know. I could see them, I could remember them like calling us Haitian booty scratches. Oh, we smell, we eat cat. They would always try to fight us. I remember this very well, and we had like a small accent because, you know, my parents didn't speak English. Right. So we had like a small accent, and we went to like predominantly American schools. Like we didn't stay in like little Haiti where, you know, all the Haitian kids would go. So we were like in the American neighborhoods. So, you know, we got picked on a lot, fought a lot. But over time, like as we got older in high school, it kind of got a little cooler to be Haitian, because then, you know, it I don't know, I think they started getting money, so it kind of changed. So now, you know, it's kind of cooler to be Haitian. I see everybody has Haitian baby daddies. All the American girls have Haitian baby daddies. You know, so I mean, it was rough though growing up. I remember my brothers fighting all the time. We was fighting Americans all the time, like getting picked on for no reason, just because we were Haitian. And I was saying earlier how I remember in class they'll be like, Brenda, you're Haitian? You're too pretty to be a Haitian. And it was like, what does a Haitian look like? You know? And it was just rough. It was really, really rough.
Now, lost her. Okay. You know what? Let me shoot to you, Smurf.
Yeah.
All right, let me shoot to you real quick. Because in Queens.
Yeah.
Back. All right, let me let her know real quick.
Don't know what's going on.
Okay. All right.
Hold on one second.
Being as you just I just shifted over to Smurf real quick.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. So all right, Smurf. So now in Queens.
Yeah.
Right. So over in Queens, we had a diversity situation going on. And me and you chopped it up and we was talking about this. And I remember with your situation, and I'm gonna let you tell the story on that. But I even remember with you. When my cousin called me and said, yo, and the terms, some of y'all might know the term, some might not. So the term when we say dipped, somebody get dipped.
Yeah.
So somebody said, yo, Smurf got dipped. I said, Smurf got dipped. Smurf got dipped. He said, yo, Smurf, that dip Smurf. I said, yo, to where? Smurf American. He's like, yo, Smurf went back to Trinidad. I said, what? Smurf ain't from Trinidad, man. So, tell your story now.
Well, you know me, man. I left here. I left Trinidad in '88. So I landed in Brooklyn at 7 years old. So, Brooklyn, that was a cool experience for me because, Trinidad back that time, it was just like dirt roads, really no light poles or none of that. So, like when I went to America, I'm seeing big buildings, big bright lights. So I'm thinking I'm in a movie, right? So America, that was like, I was in a maze. Like, and I landed in Brooklyn first. So when I landed on East 34, so it was like they dress code, everything was different out there. But I had it cool because when I landed in America, I landed amongst a bunch of Trinidadians in that section, right? That was already out there for years. So they kind of like showed my mother the ropes, and I had family out there already too.
Right.
So they showed my mother the ropes, got a job, and I'm going to school. Like I said, the school was right across the street. I used to get make fun of because of my accent, but I wasn't going for that from early.
Right.
I wasn't with none of that because I just came from came from swinging from tree to tree, running around barefoot. I used to think I was Tarzan. So when I got there, I'm looking at their dress code. I'm like, man, you crazy? I don't know where I just came from. Y'all got it good up here. Y'all could never be wilder than me or trying to bully me. So I wasn't taking the bully from young. So, and then I left Brooklyn at 10 years old and I landed in Queens in '91. So from there, I just went straight to America. Yeah,
So,
all my friends, everything was America. Yeah. So from there, like 10, 11, 12, like straight America. But I was always good in school though, so I was learning proper English because like West Indian, we speak broken English.
Right.
At home.
And I was always good in school. That's one thing. I was very bright in school. So
that's the thing.
That's how I picked up and never lost it because I speak proper English and my vocabulary is superb. So I don't know. I guess I can't speak that broken language like that, the Trini language, because it's broken down. Like Wham, that means what are you doing? So they break everything down. Wham, that means what you doing. You feel what I'm saying? So I can't really talk like that. That's not my vocabulary. I wasn't. You feel me? I wasn't groomed like that.
I hear you. All right.
So I can't lose the accent.
And that's the thing. So now, all right. So now, being as you're back home, because this is gonna be something else I'm gonna touch. I'm not gonna touch it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna touch this part of you being back home, but we're gonna pause on that one there, and I'm gonna come back because I'm gonna apply that to everyone else on the panel. I got one more Trini head on the line. Yo, Jay, what up?
What's up?
What's good? Now I know you got an interesting story being out here in Miami as well. When you got associated to this American dream situation. So explain your story real quick, please.
All right. Came up in about 89. Lived in Carver Ranches. Carver Ranches is, I guess you could say, the first, well, that's what they call it, the first hood of Broward County.
Right.
Yeah, before all the other spots. So whatever you could think of that was going on in, I guess, Dade, it was going on in Carver Ransom 10 times worse.
You think so? 10 times worse?
Yeah, Carver Ransom is the extreme hood. No police, nothing.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, extreme drugs, all of that. Typical, statistics of majority of cities. That's what Carver Ranches was. So the kids from Carver Ranches, when I came 89 or so, 88, 89, I was about 7 years old. Went to Miramar Elementary School. So Miramar is about less than 10 minutes away from Carver Ranches. So they bused us to school over there. Miramar at that time was, I guess you could say, the upper side in comparison to Carver Ranches. So the kids in Miramar was a mixture. Majority of the black kids came from Carver Ranches. It was an elementary school, 7 years old. So you do a test when you enter the school. And I'm sure everybody else did the test as well. I don't know what it's called. Standardized
testing stuff.
Yeah.
Standardized testing.
They put you in ESOL.
Right. So typically, whatever your age is, you test and they put you in whatever matches your age. When I took the test coming from Trinidad, they put me into 5th grade at 7 years old.
Right.
So at 7 years old, I was in the class with 11-year-olds. So now the dynamics, I'm from the hood in Carver Ranches. That's where I lived. But we went to school in Miramar. And you're now the smart kid. And being smart in the hood is not a cool thing.
Right.
All right, cool. So, one strike. You a smart Negro, and you live in the hood. That's not cool. Second strike, you from Trinidad, but since you're from Trinidad, all of y'all are Haitians.
Facts. I told you that.
No matter what accent, Jamaican, Bahamian, you're Haitian. So, my first part of my life in Miami, I was officially a Haitian. And apparently I came over on the banana boats and, African booty scratcher, all of that stuff. That's what those are the terms I heard. Didn't know about any of that stuff because we didn't experience that in the islands. But it was new. It didn't really matter because it wasn't until in the classes, so I was in 5th grade, and, in the islands, you better do your work. Over here now, it's like, nah, you can't be on that smart stuff. So there was a lot of attempting to intimidate. So naturally, inform my mother at that time, hey, what's going on? Or just tell the teacher. Okay, cool. So I tell the teacher, then they say, well, the officials said, tell the teacher, then tell the teacher, counselor, administrator, principal. Tell everybody on the rank. Okay, cool. So I kept telling them, hey, what's going on? Yo, they bother me. All right, cool. Nobody has touched me at all. Nobody, no hitting, no nothing. But the constant attempting to bully of, you Haitian, you trying to take our parents' job, you line a boat, you African booty scratcher, all this other stuff. But again, it didn't matter as long as nobody touched me. Because rule of thumb in the islands, as long as you don't touch me, we cool. You touch me, we got a problem.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier.
So, going to the school, I was on a newspaper representing the school for science. All of this is within like the first 2 or 3 months of being in the country. Right. So there was a thing on the school bus. In the morning, the school bus is quiet. But in the afternoon time, that's when all hell breaks loose. Everybody's proud. So the afternoon, that's when all the Haitians and Jamaicans and everybody becomes Haitian in the afternoon on the bus. You're branded. People in the back of the bus,
got it bad.
supposed supposed, the toughest or coolest. And that's when I realized it's also some weird masculinity thing to attempt to intimidate the island kids. That's what some of the dudes would do, attempt to intimidate the island kids to impress the Black American girls. Because they were two that sat in the same seat with me. And that's what made me realize it, because there was this one dude, I won't say his name, still remember it to this day. And he would always, yo, you taking our parents' job. I'm like, shit, I don't even work. I go to school.
Hey, what you talking about?
You know what I mean? I go to school. We go to school. What job are you talking about?
Right.
So I knew it had nothing to do with me because I didn't have a job. But again, it's all good as long as you don't touch me. So there's a thing called Haitian Fridays.
I remember.
Yeah, I was waiting on that. I was gonna go touch that.
Haitian Day. Oh my God.
What is that?
Haitian beat up day.
Haitian beat up day.
Yes.
Nice.
You catch a Haitian slipping.
Wait. Hold on.
Oh, it's a wrap.
He letting the cat out the bag. I didn't want to take that there yet, but
oh my God.
I gotta say it in order to explain what
Go ahead.
So every Friday, every Friday, all the Black American kids would gang up and choose one particular Haitian.
Yep.
Now, when I say Haitian, that means Jamaican, Trini, any Black person with an accent.
Yeah.
That was your day.
Yeah.
So they kept, doing that with different people. And I observed this. Now, I observed it and I was like, okay, that's kind of crazy. Well, as long as they don't touch me, we good. Because in the classroom, one dude would attempt to bully, said something about, oh, you one of them smart niggas or some shit like that. I didn't say nothing. All I did was just, you remember how the chairs were attached to the desk?
Oh, the old school.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, you one of them smart niggas. I ain't say nothing. I just got out of my chair, picked up the desk, turned around, and beat his ass over it.
Politely took off your book bag.
He didn't knock him over. So, fast forward 3 months in, on the school bus again, afternoon, everything getting crazy, rowdy. So the same dude, and I realize it's like testing to see whose turn it is next. So I guess he figured, well, today he's gonna try the Trini dude. So he says, you motherfucker, you this, you motherfucker African booty scratcher, this. I've heard it all before. I never said anything. I don't say, I just react. So again, 2 weeks, I fast forward. 2 weeks prior to that, mind you, for the first 2 months, I've been telling everybody. I've been telling teacher, so we got different teachers, each class, inform the teacher, not telling, but informing the teachers of what's going on. Back then, nobody paid attention to what they now call bullying. So I informed the teacher. I'm 7 years old now. 7 years old. Informed the teacher, informed the vice principal, informed the principal, informed the administrator, informed the counselor, informed the office secretary. Nobody did anything. So after no one did anything for 2 months, I said, all right, cool. I know how to deal with this. I ain't gonna deal with it. Same way how we deal with it in Trini.
I heard the accent come out now.
I said I know how to deal with this. I grew up countryside. And in countryside, people don't do the back and forth talk in your face stuff. They don't do that. You got a problem, you skin them like a pig. That's it. You pull out your cutlass and you start to chop. That's it. Different place there, a gun, but we ain't have no gun. We in the countryside. So I said, all right, no problem. So I took the biggest knife I could find at home and I put it in my jacket. For 2 weeks in school, I walked around with a butcher knife. Yeah. 2 whole weeks. Because I was not getting no bully thing going on over here. Not happening. Again, we cool as long as you don't touch me. Talk all African booty scratcher, all that stuff. Talk it. Don't touch me. And I had it for 2 weeks. Nobody touched me. No problem. So this dude decided he wants to impress the chicks. So he started, oh, you fucking Haitian, blah, 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 blah. And he just touched my shoulder. That's all he did. He touched my shoulder. That was it. Over. All right. He's sitting in the seat in front of me. Touched my shoulder. I got up, stuck the knife in the left side of his ear, brung it around to the right side. I split his throat. At 7 years old. Ain't no bullying going over here. I split his throat like a pig.
Whoa. You know what?
I slid it right on the bus, wiped the knife, sat back down. I went home. Next day, it was detectives at the school. But here's the thing, though. The school was negligent because the school did not do anything. So they didn't arrest me. I don't even have any of that on my record. What happened, all they did was suspend me for a day because technically, my parent could have sued the school and his parent could have sued the school because the school didn't do anything for 2 months and there was a paper trail. So when I reached the school the next day, the 2 detectives was there, and they everybody got off the school bus.
Hold on one second. Him dead?
I was thinking that.
No, he didn't die. I gave him a.
You attempted murder at 7.
No, I just wanted him to bleed a little bit. I didn't want him to bleed out. Just a little bit.
You're out of control. Cover ranches.
Well, that's who West in there.
Jesus.
No shot at that.
Not cover ranches.
Nah. But the 2 detectives was there and they said, they had on suits and all of that. And they said, getting off the school bus, and they said, you so-and-so? I said, yeah. They said, we heard you cut a child yesterday. I said, no, I didn't cut him. I slit his throat.
Oh my God, you're 7.
Yeah. They said, what? And they looked at each other puzzled. Because they were expecting me to lie. They were expecting me to lie and say I didn't this and I did. I told them the truth. I said I slit his throat. And I showed them how I slit his throat. Said,
okay.
Let's go to the principal's office. So we go to the principal's office. God. And the principal asked what happened again. And I told him the truth again. I said, no, I slit his throat. Yeah, and then I explained to them the details. And the principal knew all about it. And the principal said, oh, my goodness, you did come and tell us this for months and months. So now, all of a sudden now, the principal is looking at the liability.
Yeah.
They were liable for me and for that next child because no one did anything for 2 months. But what they didn't expect was I was not about to be bullied.
Amen.
They didn't expect that. Ironically, after that, nobody ever messed with me. Ever.
Ironically.
Bad man, Jay.
I know. Man. You're 7, yo.
But see, growing up at 7 in the islands, we was killing pigs from like 4 or 5 years old. So how you kill a pig? Excuse the graphics, but you string up the pig, left hand, right hand, and you slit the throat, then cut it down the middle and let the guts fall out. So I didn't fully, string him up like a pig. Even though,
Yikes.
Callie.
That's what my grandmother taught me.
Oh, look, Callie looking like she might not eat nothing later on.
Good.
Yeah, but that's how we can go to an kind of something.
Yeah, true.
Bust it throat. So you bust it throat.
Exactly. There you go.
Of course.
So
Exactly.
okay. So now we got a viewpoint on all the islands right now. So now, hold on. I did not. Did y'all just see me point over?
Go ahead, Red Man.
Because I was about to say,
go ahead, Red
but we ain't go to your island yet.
Go ahead, Red Man.
So go ahead.
He said,
more time.
So there's a reason for all this. I'm gonna tie something in at the end of this thing here. All right. So go ahead. No, Sherman is last. Sherman is last.
You get back off of Miss New York there. Like I said, I came like a month before her.
Mm-hmm.
November 29, 1983. Now, when I came here, I didn't go to school. I didn't start school until that January.
Okay.
Now, when I started school in Coconut Grove Elementary. My first day in school, I remember sitting outside. I'm like, damn, I don't know nobody. I started crying. 13 years old, I started crying. And two girls came up to me like, ooh, crying. Why are you crying? Man kept crying. So as the day goes on, I'm like, I got comfortable with everybody. But as the month passed, my first fight was not really. It wasn't really with an American. It was with a Jamaican dude.
Word.
Jamaican. First fight. But guess what? Me and him is best friend. When I mean best friend to today, best of friend. Because he always
like that.
For some reason, because hey, turn off the phone.
Who that?
Who for phone that ring just while
Callie, she laughing too hard. Yeah.
Callie? Okay, go ahead.
No, it's not Tory. It's not his time yet. Somebody said story time.
Yeah.
Anyway, my first fight was with a Jamaican guy, Mark Grant. I can call his name because trust me, and him best friend today, best of friends. But he was with the Americans. He know how to talk like them. And my accent was rough. When I mean rough. So every day he would mess with me. So one day he keep messing with me. So I pulled out my pencil and I stabbed him.
Right, got it.
What's up? Wait, what's going on?
Caribbeans is so violent.
Honestly. Pulled out my pencil, stabbed him.
Yeah.
Got the pencil for about 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
So now hear me that day. Now I'm crying. I'm crying in the principal's office because I'm not crying because I got in trouble. Got sent to the principal's office. I'm crying because I'm gonna get my ass whooped when I go home. I'm not worried about the school. I'm worried about the ass when I reach home. But
they ain't send you to school to fight.
Nothing. So after that, me and him became best of friends. Now, second fight, American dude, but he went to a different school because he has to every day he passed me, and he would always speak. So one day I'm not going to talk to him. So he was like, "Yo, you hear me talking to you, man? Now ignore his ass." Yo, he came up behind me. He thought I couldn't fight. Whooped him right on it.
Oh my God!
I
can't with y'all.
2 houses before I reach home. Hold up now. There was a school bus passing by. The school bus driver stopped and asked me, "Why you been on that dude?" I said, "He fucking me first." Beat him. That was my second fight. My third fight, I lost that shit. But to me, like, it's kind of hard for us when we come up here. The reason being, remember, we grew up in a society where our leaders, our government officials, they're all black. Basically, the population in the island are black. So when we come up here now, we basically have an attitude because, like, listen, we didn't go through none of this harsh reality and harsh racism and all of that. So we always have this chip on our shoulder, like we better than them. So they sense that. So that's why they always that's why they always thinking that, oh, why you guys trying to come up here taking our jobs and taking this and blah blah blah. So that's the society we grew up in, basically. So like even the education system. Remember, we grew up under the British system. So we learned how to count with shillings and pounds and all of that. So over here, Yeah, over here it's different because certain stuff I was learning over there. When I come over here, it's like, damn, I already learned this shit. Yeah. Why are they teaching this shit to me again? So it's like I said, we have this chip. We're always gonna have the chip on our shoulder as a Westerner, basically. So I would say it wasn't really hard for me. With like, it's just them,
right.
Just them picking up. Now the African booty craft and all that, I didn't really get none of that because the neighborhood I was in we're totally different. Now it was a rough ass neighborhood, but we have island people that live in that neighborhood. Because I grew up in a neighborhood called Coconut Grove down in South Miami. Right. It was South, no, but who found that? It was the Bahamians who found that neighborhood. So basically, there was a lot of Bahamians in that neighborhood. Right. So I didn't really, have that rough upbringing, like with the Americans in the neighborhood. It was in the school. It was in the school that where I have most of the problem. Because even one time, one of them when I reached high school, one of them like back then I was big enough and all of that, so I was good friends with a couple of them, and one of them asked me like, they want to hear the cuss words.
Yeah, always.
And hold up, that cuss word couldn't come out. I'm like, that cuss word could not come out. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm like, damn, that shit, I'm losing my damn accent.
Tell us.
I'm like, no. I gotta stop hanging around y'all, man, because I'm losing my West Indian accent. So I gotta find me some true West Indian people. So at the time, it wasn't really too many Antiguans in Miami per se. They were all in New York and Canada and England. So I started hanging around a lot of Jamaicans. Right. So I'm like, you know what? I ditched the American friends. I started hanging around a lot of Jamaicans to like keep my damn accent, because like, yo, I almost lost it. Not like him, my homeboy here and all. I'm like, no, I cannot lose my West Indian accent. Even when y'all talking, I'm kind of stuttering. Banging business, no, I don't mean that. I can't. The young kid and all, I'm kind of something that I don't mean. You understand? So, but like I said, I didn't really have that hard. Try to speak like the American and all of that. No. None of them's kind of something there. No. So, like I said, my neighborhood was a rough. Homeboy said he grew up in where? West what?
Cover Ranches.
That's soft.
It's super soft.
Compared to Coconut Grove, because when I first got here, every night, gunshot, somebody dying.
Yeah, that might be a different Coconut Grove than when I came down.
Coconut Grove.
Definitely wasn't.
Trust me, every night.
I thought the Coconut Grove that I used to drive by used to be Planet Hollywood and Improv.
No.
Exactly.
In the 80s, the 80s and the early 90s. Trust me. Like, especially Coconut Grove and South Miami dudes beefing all the damn time. And trust me, yo, that was a rough ass neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah,
they might have had that. They might have had. Maybe. I want to tie everything in, but I got another guest that jumped in just now. My man Nate. Nate.
What's up, everybody? I had a little technical difficulty. I was in the whole time watching. I'm like, how do I get in?
Cool. I just want to make sure you wasn't running on CP time, but it's all good. It's all good.
Nah, man, I had to get in, but I like the intro. I got the chance to listen to everybody.
Caribbean people
at least I didn't disappoint y'all.
Nah. Okay, so since you was listening, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to jump in. The time is a little bit limited, but still, listen.
No, we going past.
That's what I was about to say. See, this is the thing where I'm talking about with this
time
dude.
Tonight.
This shit I gotta deal with all the time. My man right here. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna do it. Yeah. I was just about to tell him. Nate, tell your story.
Hey man, I'm glad to be on the panel. Glad to be here among family. I'm of Haitian descent, of course. I grew up in Miami, Liberty City, my whole life. Parents, my dad was a minister. I have a church in Liberty City, so I really grew up in the heart of the city in the 80s. So you know how it was for young Haitians growing up in the 80s, especially how how Haitians were treated back then. I'm all Edison Elementary, Edison Middle, Edison High School.
All right.
So that's all Edison back in the days. So back then it wasn't really much of a little Haiti. Little Haiti started developing after that, but Little Haiti was called Lemon City back then.
Right.
Lemon City.
I grew up in Liberty City, and it was pretty rough for me. I wasn't born in Haiti, but I've been going to Haiti my whole life with my parents, and I've really been connected to Haiti as a young child. But growing up, watching to see how Haitians were treated, I was always kind of confused, to be honest with you, because me traveling to Haiti, I didn't see that type of Haiti that these people saw. In fact, I always wondered, Haitians themselves didn't even know their own country, and even now they still don't. And that's why one of our goals is to promote Haitian culture to the young generations who really are disconnected. They become like dinosaurs who really don't know where they come from. And that's not only with Haiti, it's with all Caribbean islands, everybody who comes from other islands. All of our kids don't really know where they're at. So I created Hooked on Haiti. It's got the hook shirt right here. So Hooked on Haiti is really to get the next generation hooked on their culture and pass on knowledge, love, and pride to the culture to them. But what separates us is our ethnicity. We're all from different ethnic groups, but what connects us is our race. I mean, we're all motherland. We're all Black. So every issue that affects the United States or wherever we're at, world issue that affects the race, the Black race, we're all affected by that. So that's kind of my story. I'm a full-time firefighter, past 24 years, living up in West Palm, and still do a lot of travel to Haiti. I'm constantly in Haiti. I promote Haiti a lot, but I'm also promoting not just my culture, but our whole culture, because we all have the same stories. Just listening to you guys, it sounds like y'all come from Haiti, because we all experience the same situation.
Same thing.
Yeah. I mean,
well, not really.
At the end of the day, not let me tie the pieces in, because y'all all had your story, and I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but y'all all there's a little knot that ties us all together. Now let me just go back into what my man Jay was saying on the phone with us prior to this, and I believe someone brought up the standardized testing. So now, here's the thing that I learned before I get into my story. Here's the thing that I learned while talking to a lot of Caribbean kids while we were coming up. When we came to America, now mind you, like I think you said, we all grew up under the British system. So the schooling system is
different
for us. It's a little bit more advanced. You understand? So coming here, what I found out, and I experienced it myself, is that you would have teachers tell you that you're not smart enough.
Oh, that's not how you work out this problem.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, and you're sitting here and you're like, well, what are you talking about? Seriously, because it's like, well, like, what you showing us right now, I did that when I was in 3rd grade. You know what I'm saying? I'm in 11th grade. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with it. It's like they started what they call, I found out later on, is what they call got left back. You know what I'm saying? And as you start out of West Indian kids, we all experienced it. Let me tell you, so I got traumatized by that, because I'm sitting in here, like 1 minute you're sitting with your friends in 1st grade, and then someone comes and tell you, because I was a quiet kid when I first got here, because I didn't understand. They thought it was like a psychological thing, like something's wrong with him because he's not talking. I'm not talking because I don't understand what the system is, so I got to get used to it. So a lot of time it's like, okay, he has to take a test. So okay, you take the test, you pass the test, and then they still telling you something's still psychologically wrong with him. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put him back and let him progress with the rest. And you're sitting here like, well, hold up, there's nothing wrong with me. But again, your parents don't really understand the system either.
Yeah.
You just get pushed around
because
and
remember,
shoved
they came here to work
in different places.
Exactly.
You understand? So we had to go through that. The other thing, like you said, of course, the terms. the booty scratcher, the banana boat, take the job situation. And like I said, I never came here on a boat. I flew over, so I didn't know who you were talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I flew with Eastern Airlines. I came here.
And then when I came, another thing that we had to go through, and this is where everything ties in. Like Nate just said, a lot of us, well, the younger generation don't understand their native land because they grew up here. And there's a reason why the panel is chosen for tonight. The problem that came about also is when, and Smurf, tell me if you kind of went through this as well. It's like when you pick up on the American lingo, right? I'm gonna use the word lingo. Because when we came here, we was talking one way. Then you, especially like, you know, in Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, I grew up in all the boroughs. So I had to like adapt to each and every. I was in Harlem, I was in the Bronx, you know, I was in all the areas where everything is a little different, but it's all the same still. So it's like you had to lose it quick. I came here young. But then now, once you lost it now, well, not even lose it all the way, because when you get amongst your people, you still, it's still come out. But then now, your own people.
Yes.
You go back home.
Yes.
The stigma hits you now. Yes. When you go back home now.
You're young too much.
You're young, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Been Americanized.
All right.
Lose that. Yeah, lose that. Lose the American accent.
So now, did any of y'all go through that situation and kind of can relate to what I'm saying right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and that's the thing. And it's so funny that, for instance, now we're fighting to say how Black America was treating us, but then turn around, our own people doing the same thing to us when we go back home.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I never had that because I found my damn accent back.
And Sherman, I know you waiting to jump in. I know you waiting to jump, and I'm gonna bring you in. I'm gonna bring you in now because this gentleman right now is gonna. Yes.
I'm having a bad connection. Could you call me on the phone, on my cell phone? Because I want to get into this. I
know you
got
want to
something
get
for
it.
everybody.
Yo, your connection is good though. Your connection is good.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, good.
Yeah, we hear you. I hear you good, bro.
All right, good.
Now,
Sure.
Let me bring the dessert in. Go ahead, Sherman.
Okay. I'm going to tell you something. I learned something from each one of you all tonight, but I'm going to tell you, being from the Caribbean is a great thing for you all. Y'all brought something to the table, to Black America. Okay?
Thank you.
But my first meeting with someone from the islands was up in my hometown in Gainesville. He was an athlete, I was an athlete, but I was a young athlete. We used to laugh at him about his accent. He was an athlete at the University of Florida, and he went on to win a gold medal in 1976 in Montreal. Hazley Crawford. You familiar with that name?
Yep.
He's a little old.
Yes. He was a talented individual. But once I went off to college in Alabama at Tuskegee, and then once I graduated and migrated to Miami, I got employed with airlines. That's when the big story happened. You learn a lot about everyone from the islands. Okay? Like the young lady said, exotic. Yes.
Yeah.
Most of us Black Americans, when you speak, it's exotic to us, and we like, wow, is she Eartha Kitt or what? But it's exotic to us. That's how we look at it. Okay.
Right.
The brother who grew up over there in Lemon City, Little Haiti, as they call it now. You went to Edison Elementary, Edison Middle School. Yeah, I was substitute teaching over there to pay off a student loan a couple of times. I met some talented guys, talented students. They from Haiti. And they wanted to make the change. You know, they were second generation here. Their parents didn't speak the language, but they knew the land and they picked it up pretty well. I seen a lot of them go off to trade school, 4-year colleges, and do well. But whereas we Black Americans look at island Black people from the islands, they just like us. They just speak a different language. Okay, but nothing wrong with patois. Nothing. That's their native language. Okay, and speak it. Okay, you have people in England. You have relatives in England all over. Us Black Americans, we got it here, and that's all we know. Yeah, we gonna get jealous, but that's nature. Me, I was already a full adult when I got here, and I seen the change in Miami. I remember 1981. I was a sophomore in college, and all the Haiti people were migrating to Miami. They would take them to Chrome Avenue, incarcerate them.
Yeah.
But they were taking the Cubans right there to the Orange Bowl and setting them free within 30 days. We protested for many. We protested almost a week. We came down here on several buses like Freedom Riders, you know, and it was an eye-opening experience. Now, later in life, working at the airlines, wow, something awesome. Okay, you get to learn different cultures, and it's a great thing. If you don't take advantage of it, well, so what? But you got some Blacks like, wow, like you said, they're taking our jobs. No, they're not taking our jobs. They're accepting our jobs. Okay, I work side by side with them, you know, and they're no different. They have the same aches and pains I do, the same struggles I do, you know. But we learn from each other. But like you said, what we got to do to make this better, it's a long road ahead. America's changing, and we got to keep it going, you know. Anything else, John?
Nah. Let me ask you something, because you brought up a point when me and you were chopping it up before. Now, you were saying that when you spoke to some Caribbean people at the time, you had to explain to them that, like when Caribbean people came here and or someone said, "Are you American?" and they would kind of with some, I don't want to use the word disgust, but like take offense. Like, nah, I'm not American. You know.
Yeah, but remember, I that's a point I made earlier on, because like I said, when we come here, we already have that better mentality about us,
and
that's why.
And see and then with this point of view now, you can understand where now an American could get offended.
Yeah.
If that person now from the Caribbean is kind of looking down on them, and you came to their country for opportunity. That's why they always will say now, well, go back if you don't feel like this is it for you here. You know what I mean? So now you made a point where you were saying that they may have that little, what's the word? Like stoosh. I don't know if you understand. Right. Stoosh, like you're better than somebody else. Yeah. But at the end of the day, your kids are gonna end up Americanized like me.
Not really. They're gonna be born here. They're born here. They're gonna be American and all that.
So can you elaborate?
They're gonna be Americanized. Believe me.
Right. Yes, they are.
I see it all the time. I talk to my co-workers, you know.
So I
think we're already there too.
Is it?
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Is it because as West Indian people, we have more a sense of identity, in the sense that we have carnival, we have soca, I can trace my family tree without no genetic testing back to when Denmark, ruled my island. I know who my family is. You know, some Americans have no clue, unfortunately, because of, what happened here. We were freed in the Caribbean way before Black Americans. And sometimes I feel that's a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to jump in real quick.
Breaking up.
Go ahead.
So after experiencing that in childhood, later on I delved real deep into Black America's history, which Black America's history is Black people history worldwide, because it's all the same history. Whether it's Caribbean, whether it's Black American, whether it's African, in Africa, it's the same history. So the same tactics are used worldwide. Can't remember her name, but she just mentioned what is it? Is it because of being able to trace one's history back to through colonial times and in the islands? No, there's something that happened before. Later on, I got to learn that and I actually, from a lot of older Cubans and older Haitians, they were telling me, because, in conversations, they said when they came to the U.S., let's just say people from another group that don't look anything like us, told them, be very wary and don't trust Black Americans.
Yep.
So from the beginning,
I've heard that.
From the beginning, if someone who looks like the supposed dominant culture, and you see that dominant group on TV all the time, and they're telling you, as the newcomer immigrants, don't trust the people that look like you, that immediately plants a bad seed. So a lot of island people had a certain perception, a wrong perception, but a perception. I'm not talking about the kids. Everyone on here, we experienced it as children, whether it's 7, 13, etc. We were all children. But the adult islanders who came up, not saying they had any preconceived concept or prejudice, but there was a message. The same way right now, for example, if any one of us on here, if we leave and we go to China, let's say China or anywhere in Asia, the females, any female on this panel, they will automatically assume or call you Beyonce. Any dude on this panel, whether you're island or whether you're Black American, they will automatically assume that you are a rich Black basketball player. Because there's a message that was sent out to the world through entertainment and media.
That's all they see.
So that same way how those people view us, even though we know the difference here, they don't know the difference. All they know is what they see through media. Island people got a certain message when they came into America, and they got a certain perception of Black Americans, because majority of island people did not know about the Jim Crow era. They did not know about any of the struggles that Black Americans went through. Again, I'm talking about the adult islands, not us who are the young people then. So some of them had a perception that, well, man, I'm coming here. I bought a house in Miramar. I bought a house in Pembroke Pines. I bought a house in this. Man, why are you still living in Liberty City? They don't understand that majority of Black Americans went through a time frame where they could not even step foot in Miramar or in Pembroke Pines. So the island person who comes over and is able to buy a house in Miramar or Pembroke Pines, they never went through that, so they don't even know that was even a block or a wall in the past. So I guess the point I'm getting at, in particular, with Jamaicans, because Jamaicans were were closer to America and came in well, not the biggest wave, but during that time frame, they came in large numbers. And I hear this because I didn't realize this until I was talking to an older lady, Jamaican lady in her 60s, and she was saying certain things, certain negative things. I was like, whoa. You need to learn Black America's history because you don't know their history. I'm Trini, but I know Black America's history. That's why I can look at my experience different. Yeah, I had that bad experience, but I also understand someone told them a story and they reacted with us a certain way, and someone told us a story coming in, the adults,
vice versa,
and therefore the Black adults reacted a certain way. So basically, you got one group of black people being pitched against another group of black people. Therefore, they never connect and never advance as a unit together. It's basic the old game of divide and conquer.
Correct. And that's exactly what I was going to say about that.
Black people.
Right.
Yeah, I think the divide and conquer, definitely. You're right about that, man.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And see, tonight, purpose was to put everything on the table. No holds bar. Like, we're gonna spread it out and let everyone know there is no animosity for Americans. There is no animosity from Trinis to this one and that one, because they pit us against each other also.
Right.
The Caribbean, they pit us against each other also.
Up to today, it's still going on.
You know that they do the same thing also.
Haitian don't like this.
The same thing.
Haitians do not want their daughters married Jamaicans.
Yeah, same thing.
So tonight
is still going. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. I've heard that a lot.
Among the islanders, trust me, it's big animosity.
And that's the thing.
Big time animosity.
Go out in the world and be somebody.
Live at the Barbershop Podcast.